Welcome back, Chapter 38. It was her second day back at school after Barney died, and her friends were still looking at her like she would shatter, never once mentioning him, talking around it in wide circles. Lauren let Pip have her last Oreo, and Connor gave up his middle seat at the cafeteria table for her. Kara didn't leave her side, knowing just when to talk to her and when to stay quiet. Pip spent most of the day working on her personal essay, trying to push everything else out of her head. She just had to write about the time she visited her grandparents in Berlin. Did that explain who she was? What made Pip Pip? Well, no, but she was almost out of time, and it would have to do. Mrs. Morgan cornered her in the hall at the end of the day, her pudgy face stern as she listed the reasons why it wasn't really possible to change a capstone project topic this late. Pip just mumbled, "Okay," and drifted away, hearing Miss Morgan's "tuh" teenagers under her breath. As soon as she got home from school, she went straight to her desk and opened up Ravi's laptop. She would finish writing her essay later, after dinner, and well into the night if she had to. Her mom thought she wasn't sleeping because of Barney, but she wasn't sleeping because there wasn't time to. Pip opened the browser and pulled up the TripAdvisor page for the Ivy House Inn. This was her designated lead. Ravi was working on the phone number scribbled from the planner. Pip had already messaged some Ivy House reviewers who'd posted around March and April 2014, asking if they remember seeing a blonde girl there. No responses yet. She navigated to the website that had actually processed the reservation for Ivy House and found their phone number on the Contact Us page. Maybe she could pretend to be a relative of the old woman who owned the place and see if she could access their old booking information. Probably not, but worth a try. Secret old guy identity could be at the end of the line. She unlocked her cell and clicked on to the phone app. It opened her recent call list. She pressed over to the keypad and started to type in the company's number. Then her thumb slackened and stopped. She stared down at the screen, her head whirling as the thought became conscious. "Wait," she said out loud, going back to her recent call list. She looked at the entry right at the top from when Naomi called her yesterday. Her temporary number. Pip's eyes traced the digits, a feeling of dread curling in her chest. She jumped out of her chair so fast that it whirled and crashed into the desk. With her phone in hand, she dropped to her knees and pulled the murder board out from its hiding place under her bed. Her eyes darted straight to the Andy section, to the printed pages around her smiling face. She found it, the page from Andy's school planner, the scribbled out phone number, and her log entry beside it. She held out her phone, looking from Naomi's temporary number to scribble. 475-555-0146. It wasn't one of the 9 combinations she had written out, but it was very nearly was. She thought that the second to last digit had to be a 7 or a 1 or a 9. But what if that was just a loopy scribble? What if it was really a 4? She slumped back. There was no way to be absolutely certain, no way to unscribble the number and see it for what it was. But it would be one unbelievable pig flying hell freezing over coincidence if Naomi's old SIM card just happened to have a number that similar to the one Andy wrote in her planner. It had to be the same number. What did that mean, if anything? Was this an irrelevant lead? Just Andy copying down the phone number of her boyfriend's best friend? Could Pip discard it as a clue? But then, why did she have a sinking feeling in her gut? Because if Max was a strong contender, then Naomi was even more so. Naomi knew about the hit and run. Oh, shoot. I'm back. Sorry about that. Naomi had access to the phone numbers of Max, Millie, and Jake. Naomi had Pip's number. Naomi could have left Max's house while Millie slept and intercepted Andy before 12:45. Naomi had been the closest to Sal. Naomi knew where Pip and Kara was camping. Naomi knew which woods Pip walked Barney in, the same ones Sal died in. Naomi already had a lot to lose because of the truths Pip had uncovered, but what if there was more to it than that? What if she was actually involved in Andy's and Sal's deaths? Pip was getting ahead of herself, her tired brain running off and tripping her up. It was just a phone number Andy wrote down. It didn't tie Naomi to anything else, but there was something that could, she realized. Since taking Naomi off the persons of interest list, she received another printed note from the killer, the one in her locker. At the start of the semester, Pip had set up Kara's laptop to record everything that came through the ward's printer. If Naomi was involved in this, Pip now had a sure way to find out. That's the end of chapter 38. Ooh. Chapter 39. Pip stepped back from Naomi's knife. "Be careful," she said. "Oh, no." Naomi shook her head. "The eyes are uneven." She spun the pumpkin around so Pip and Kara could see its face. "Looks like a blobfish," Kara cackled. "It's supposed to be an evil cat." Naomi placed her knife down next to the bowl of pumpkin guts. "Don't quit your day job," Kara said, wiping pumpkin goo from her hands and sauntering over to the cupboard. "I don't have a day job." "Oh, for God's sakes," Kara grumbled on tiptoes, looking through the cupboard. "Where did that pack of Butterfingers go? I was literally with Dad 2 days ago when he brought them." "I don't know. I haven't eaten them." Naomi came over to admire Pip's pumpkin. "What on earth is yours, Pip?" "A Sauron's eye," she said quietly. Excuse me. "Or a vagina on fire," Kara said, grabbing a banana instead. "Now that is scary," Naomi laughed. "No, this was." Naomi had the pumpkins and knives laid out and ready for when Kara and Pip got in from school. Pip hadn't had a chance to sneak off to check the printer yet. "Naomi," she said, "thanks for calling the other day. I got that email from your friend's cousin about Columbia. It was really helpful." "Oh, good." She smiled. "No problem." "So when will your phone be fixed?" "Tomorrow, actually," the shop says. "It's taken long enough." Pip nodded, tensing her chin. "Well, at least you had your old phone with a SIM card that still worked. Lucky you held on to it." "Well, lucky Dad had a spare pay-as-you-go micro SIM lying around, and bonus $25 credit on it. There was just an expired contract one in my phone." The knife almost fell from Pip's hand, a climbing hum in her ears. "Your dad's SIM card?" "Yeah," Naomi said, scoring the knife along her pumpkin's face, her tongue out as she concentrated. "Kara found it in his desk, at the bottom of his junk drawer. It's full of old useless charges and foreign currency and stuff." The hum split into a ringing sound, streaking and stuffing her head. Pip felt sick, a metallic taste in her mouth. Mr. Ward's SIM card? Mr. Ward's old phone number scribbled out in Andy's planner? Andy calling Mr. Ward an asshole to her friends the week she disappeared? Mr. Ward? Didn't I say it was something about Mr. Ward? "You okay, Pip?" Kara asked as she dropped a lit candle into her pumpkin and it glowed into life. Yeah, Pip nodded too hard. I'm just hungry." Well, I would offer you a Butterfinger, but they seem to have disappeared as always. Chips? No thanks. I feed you because I love you, Kara said. Pip's mouth felt tacky and sickly. No, it might not mean what she was thinking. Maybe Mr. Ward was just offering to tutor Andy, and that's why she wrote his number down. It could be him. It couldn't be him. She needed to calm down, try to breathe. This wasn't proof of anything. But she had a way to find proof. I think we should have spooky Halloween music on while we do this, Pip said. Kara, can I go get your laptop? Yeah, it's on my bed. Pip closed the kitchen door behind her. She raced up the stairs to Kara's room, creeping back down with the laptop, her heart thudding, fighting to be louder than the ringing in her ears. She slipped into Mr. Ward's study and gently closed the door, staring for a moment at the printer on his desk. Mrs. Ward's rainbow-colored paintings watching her as she opened up Kara's laptop on the leather chair and kneeled on the floor before it. Once it awoke, she clicked to the control panel and into devices and printers. Hovering the mouse over Freddie Prinze Jr., she right-clicked and holding her breath, selected the top item in the drop-down menu, See What's Printing. A small box popped up with 6 columns: document name, status, owner, pages, size, and date submitted. It was filled with entries. One yesterday from Kara Card called Personal Essay Rough Draft. One a few days ago from Elliot Comp gluten-free cookie recipe. Several in a row from Naomi, Resume 2019, charity job application, cover letter 2. The note was put in Pip's locker on Friday, October the 18th. She scrolled down. Her fingers drew up October the 17th at 11:40 p.m. Elliot Comp had printed Microsoft Word Document 1, an unnamed, unsaved document. Her fingers left sweaty tracks on the mousepad. As she right-clicked on the document, another small drop-down menu appeared, her heart in her throat. She bit down on her tongue and clicked the restart option. The printer clacked behind her and she flinched. It hissed, sucking in the top piece of paper. She moved towards it as it started to sputter the page through, a glimpse of fresh black ink upside down. The printer finished and spat it out. Pip reached for it. She turned it around. This is your final warning, Pippa. Walk away. That's the end of chapter 39. So, it's in the Ward family that was sending her the notes. Ooh. It could be the daddy. It could be Naomi. It could be the mama. It could be Kara. Wow. But we knew Naomi was on that suspect list, right? But now, that narrowed it down. But now, we don't really know which Ward it is. Could be all of them. What y'all think? Which Ward is it? Whew. Okay, well, we shall find out. I shall see you in the next chapters. Bye for now.